what is going on? Just a little, I guess, update on training and stuff in general. I finally got MRI results from my shoulder, which I didn't think I did anything too significant to back in January. The reason I couldn't do the Arnold Sports Festival this year is because I was just training, just deadlifting. I think I was on my second or third rep with, I think I was using 805, just doing some singles and stuff, and everything felt awesome. Everything felt really, really good actually. And then I was actually feeling pretty much stronger than I think I might have, I think I've ever been in my whole entire life leading up to the Arnold this year for 2016. And then something just had a very weird feeling in my shoulder. Not even like, oh shit, I just tore something, or oh man, I'm out of the socket, or I just broke a bone. It wasn't even a lot of pain. It's just all of a sudden, I was just limited on just function. My range of motion just kind of sucked. I just got really tight all through my shoulder. I still ended up finishing that workout. I had to drop that one rep just because I freaked out a little bit. But then it was just really, really sore for a while, and anytime I had any kind of weight loaded in my hands, anytime I had something just pulling down, I get this very specific pinpoint pain on pretty much the most lateral part of my shoulder, way on the outside, just on the apex of the outside of my delt. And so it just wouldn't stop sucking, so I couldn't do the Arnold, just because I couldn't train as hard as I wanted to the last month and a half leading up to it. And then finally got an MRI shortly after that, after it was just feeling stiff, just taking a couple of weeks to really get better. So I mean, anytime some kind of issue lasts longer than 2 weeks, I just decided to go get it checked out just to make sure it's not anything too crazy. Well, I finally got the MRI results back from that, just while I've been preparing to go to the Virgin Islands for the NAPF regional championships, just to make sure structurally, if I was going to compete, I wouldn't explode anything, compound from the inside of my body to the outside of my body. And I found out I have 4 separate issues going on my shoulder. The 2 not so bad ones is just tendinitis, tendinosis. Pretty much anyone that lifts weights has varying levels of tendinosis and tendinitis pretty much everywhere. So I mean, that's not too big of a deal. If you don't know how to treat that for yourself, then I don't know, you're probably either not lifting very hard or you're dumb. So just, that's just normal shit that people who train or do any kind of repetitive movement consistently have to learn how to take care of. And if you're going to the doctor for tendinitis, you have a fucking problem outside of just feeling pain when you do things. So that was one thing. The second thing is I have a type 2 acromion process, just kind of the way my acromion is laid out and everything, which type 1 is ideal for sports, athletics, gymnastics, lifting weights, stuff like that. Type 2 is just a structure. It's a little bit not as ideal. Definitely can lead to some problems. Mine might not be too bad on that type 2 plane. A type 3 acromion basically is the top of your shoulder is basically a sharp, jagged hook sawing away at your supraspinatus, and it's only a matter of time before you just absolutely sever a rotator cuff, some aspect of it at some point from doing too much pressing and overhead stuff or whatever. But so type 2 is not terrible. Again, it's not ideal, but that's just fun learning about genetic limitations 18 years after you started lifting weights. So like I said, it's probably not even a problem. So that was just something that got listed on the MRI results I thought was kind of interesting. All right, problem number 1 that's going to actually be an issue at some point is I have osteolysis in my left clavicle, which basically means my collarbone from the distalmost end, from the outside, the midline of my body, the furthest part away from my sternum, is slowly disappearing. So osteolysis literally translates to bone breaking down. So there's really no explanation for that. My bones are just wasting away. So that's something that, fuck if I know. I mean, basically, there's a couple options for surgery later on if it gets real bad. I can get a bone graft, or they can, I can get I know there's like a procedure where they can take part of like your fibula out because that bone's basically worthless, and they can put it in there. So I mean, there's a couple options there. It's nothing I really have to worry about right now, but it's fun to hear you have a fucking disease where your bones are disappearing. So again, it probably won't be an issue now, or hopefully ever. Hopefully I'm lifting enough weights to keep my bone mineral density to a level where I'm not just going to fucking disappear and my skin's gonna fall into a pile one day. So that's kind of one issue. The big thing I got going on is apparently that little mild discomfort I felt was a complete and total circumferential tear of the glenoid labrum in my shoulder. So that means circumferential means it's all the way around and it's all the way through. And the only reason my humerus is still mildly attached to my body right now is because I do preventative maintenance stuff for my shoulder. I do a lot of rotator cuff stuff. I do a lot of like horizontal abduction or rear delt work and stuff. And that stuff is just so strong, is what I was told, that, you know, I'm kind of asymptomatic right now. I mean, I still feel tight and stuff and just like stiff, just like a really kind of ropey, shitty, like cold grilled cheese sandwich feeling in my shoulder when I try to deadlift heavy, which really sucks. So basically that needs surgery, and it needs surgery immediately. Worst case scenario, I don't get it fixed, and I have crippling arthritis in 5 years, and then I have to get a total shoulder replacement or a reverse shoulder replacement, which basically means you're fucked, like you cannot do anything. So I mean, it sucks and everything, but it's really not terrible timing. From what I understand, the recovery from a labrum tear repair this like catastrophic, because this is basically the worst soft tissue thing you can do to your upper body, short of just completely tearing every aspect of your rotator cuff. So the recovery and the surgery sucks. Like I'm not really looking forward to that, but it's not terrible timing. I definitely cannot do the NAPF championships. Not even so much from like making the injury worse or anything like that, because I mean, fucking technically it can't. It really can't get any worse than what it is right now, which is a good thing, I guess. But I mean, I'm not having any clicking or popping yet or anything. I'm not having any catching, like typical kind of bone on bone stuff. So I just like to get it fixed now. And again, it's not terrible timing. I want to go down a weight class. I've been talking about doing that since the beginning of the year, and just kind of put that on the back burner after I found out about the NAPF meet, which, I should just kind of stick to that goal. So not being able to fucking move for about 8 weeks after I get this surgery done will definitely help kind of get that weight loss going in the right direction. In the meantime, I go see my doctor in August to kind of schedule surgery, figure out exactly what I need to do, figure out what the fuck I'm gonna do for work, because I'm on my feet doing stuff all day. So that's gonna be super tricky, managing that, like trying to get through this without starving to death. But anyway, I don't know. It's one thing after another, and it's always something. Just it's gonna suck. I've come back from worse. So just especially playing football and everything. I mean, I've probably had about a dozen surgeries for football, and just other than just kind of these just kind of underlying genetic and structural problems I've had with my body in the past. I'm just used to dealing with bullshit at this point. But I wanna get better. I wanna compete, in a lower weight class and stuff, and see. I'm pretty sure I can be pretty fucking competitive at 231, especially if I can, recover from this okay. Just kind of, get all that lagging little crappy tendonitis stuff taken care of, and then just, I don't know, just take it from there. I'm just kind of rambling at this point. I'm pretty upset, but what the fuck are you gonna do? I mean, it's something else to take care of. So, I'll probably try to do some videos to kind of log what recovery from something like this is like, because it's not every day somebody like completely rips a spare tire sized fucking hole out of their labrum and has to get it repaired, and then plans on still being somewhat athletic at something. Yeah, I'll definitely try to keep it all. Just definitely try to keep it all updated and stuff, and then just try to make some kind of videos. Hopefully, I can get some videos. I actually found one of my really good buddies is a physical therapist here in Salisbury, and he's been doing a bunch of like dry needling on it and stuff, and that's really helped loosen up a lot of kind of the kind of superficial stuff. Obviously, that's not going to magically fix the underlying problem of there being just like two bones trying to start a fire in my shoulder. But yeah, so I don't know. I'm done with this video. Again, I'm just rambling. I'm just pissed off, and I don't even know. I just already drove past work. I'm just gonna drive around all day. Maybe I'll just roll the windows up and drive into the fucking ocean. That sounds like a good idea. But all right, that's all I got. See y'all later.